Talk about metric brilliance and the reason the metric system is so useful. But before we get there, we want to talk about our system for just a moment. Because our system, we use inches as the basis for length. And the idea for inch actually comes from the thickness of a man's thumb, measured right at the base of the nail. That is supposed to be an inch. So let me see if I am, well, I guess in this case, a real man, and taken right at the base, it comes out to, well, believe it or not, pretty much exactly an inch. So, woohoo! The nail right across there, or the thumb right across there is an inch. And interestingly enough, in many languages, the word for inch is the same as the thumb. My favorite is in Norway. The Norwegian is tolma, T-O-M-M-E, thumb, and inch. So it extends to that, but they wanted to make sure it was really clear, so they recorded an inch was defined as 3 ripe barleycorns. 3 ripe barleycorns placed end to end, taken from the center of the barley, was defined as an inch. You can see this is just not a really good system. Finally, what they realized is that in the offices of the standards in London, they had metal cut out and marked off to be exactly an inch, a foot. They had all their measures as standards in physical constants that they could see. But you can see these are largely just made up. How is the metric system better? Well, take a look at this. A lot comes down to 1 cubic centimeter. Did I draw a cubic centimeter? Oh, look at that, I'm good. So 1 cubic centimeter of volume. That is a square 1 centimeter on a side and then stretch back to make a cube 1 centimeter on a side. So all of these edges are 1 centimeter. That means the volume then equals 1 centimeter cubed, which they define then is the same thing as 1 milliliter. That is 1/1000th of a liter. And if it's water at 4 degrees Celsius, that is the most dense form of water, if you have a cube of water, 1 milliliter, 1 cubic centimeter, the mass of that water is equal to 1 gram. So you have mass, you have length, and you have, well, here and here, you have volume, all centering around a cube of water. Now that's pretty brilliant. Water is the most common substance on the planet. This is not a bad system. Furthermore, in the English system, we break it down into very awkward numbers, breaking it all into quarters, 8, 16, 30 seconds, something like that. In the metric system, everything is broken down. Everything is broken down into tens. So it becomes extremely easy to figure out how this works. For example, this is 1 centimeter. It's made of 10 millimeters. So 1 centimeter is made of 10 millimeters. So it's very easy to go back and forth. How many millimeters would 5 centimeters be? 5 centimeters would equal 50 millimeters. We should discuss how we're going to get that. Okay, because we need some easy science method, some easy to use method to say 2.54 centimeters. How many millimeters is that? Well, you learned, like I did a long time ago, that you can multiply something by the number 1 and not change its value. Let me explain what I mean. Come on over here. All right, say we have 2 feet, and I were to ask you, hey, how many inches is in 2 feet? You go, well, I got this. All you do is you go times 12, and yeah, there you go. So you multiply that by 12, you got the answer. Okay, let me do that. 2 feet times 12, oh, you're right, 24, feet. If I multiply something by 12, it's 12 times larger. I don't have 24 inches, I have 24 feet. I have to multiply this by 1. Well, how do I do that? Watch. How many inches in a foot? All right, well, All right, well, there's 12 inches in 1 foot. Well, if I go 2 feet times 12 inches in 1 foot, the feet cancel, and I'm left with inches. I have 24 inches. Let me explain a little bit more. A long time ago, I had a teacher that told me that if I take a number and multiply it by itself, or if I take a number and multiply by 1, I have the same number. And I did not think that was the most incredible thing I had ever heard. But watch. What's 1 over 1? All right, that's 1. What's 2 over 2? 2 over 2 is 1. Great. What's 3 over 3? Yes, that's 1. Bear with me, I'm going someplace here. Excellent. What's pi over pi? Right, 3 over 3 equals 1, so 3.14 over 3.14 equals 1. Now, let's make the big jump. This is a deep dish apple pie divided by a deep dish apple pie. What does that equal? Well, if pi over pi equals 1, a deep dish apple pie divided by a deep dish apple pie does not equal 1 deep dish apple pie. It simply equals 1. But bear with me further. If I take a deep dish apple pie and I cut it into the proper amount of American deep dish apple pie slices, that would be 8 pie slices. So if I have a deep dish apple pie divided by 8 pie slices, standard American pie slices, that equals 1. So if I have something and I divide it by its equivalent, that still equals 1. So when we come back up to this problem, here I have 12 inches and its equivalent of 1 foot. Now I have the feet set up so they cancel here. That makes it handier. So 2 feet times 12 inches divided by 1 foot, which is 1. I can multiply by this and not change anything's value because it's 1. Now I get the correct answer of 24 inches. Let's go back to this problem. 2.54 centimeters, I want to convert it to millimeters. Why do I care so much about 2.54 centimeters? Get to that in a second. 2.54 centimeters. Well, if centimeters is here, I'm only going to get it to cancel if I put it on the bottom. And I'm trying to convert it to millimeters. Great, so I have millimeters over centimeters. Now I just need the numbers that turn this into 1. So I know that in 1 centimeter, there are how many millimeters? Right, 10 millimeters. This is 1. I can go ahead and multiply by this because it's 1. I'm not going to change the length of what I'm talking about. I'm just going to change the unit. So the centimeters cancel because centimeter divided by centimeter is 1, and I'm not changing anything. So that cancels. So 2.54 centimeters times 10 millimeters over 1 centimeter equals 25.4 millimeters. Why do we care about that? Well, hopefully we won't care about it for long. We care about it right now because that equals 1 inch. The amusing part was eventually the inch was decided to be defined by 25.4 millimeters. I think that's sort of amusing. But that's how we do this new kind of math, multiplication by 1. It's staggeringly powerful. We'll do a few more later.